It is now 2 months since drought was declared a national disaster. And with every passing day, thousands of famine-stricken Kenyans in 23 counties are losing hope. Pastoralists communities in northern Kenya are counting losses as carcasses of their dead livestock now litter former grazing fields. Efforts to relocate their livestock to other parts of the country like Isiolo and Wajir and even Somalia have proved futile. And as our very own Raquel Muiga reports in tonight's feature, Dry Death, the biting drought is also not sparing wildlife, with conservationists expressing fears that a vulnerable species could be wiped out.
Hata zina faida. Napatia tunalisha tu mpaka tena wanakuva.
Hakuna kitu watu kusaidia sisi.
If one was to judge a book by its cover, then no one will blame you for saying that all is well in northern Kenya because of the visible state of normalcy in Garissa town. But nearly 200 kilometers from this location in Lagdera constituency, those living there are dealing with a different set of circumstances. Material possessions are buckled onto the backs of camels and donkeys, children in tow, as families set out for another uncertain and desperate journey in search of water and pasture. Such sightings on the road are a reminder of the possibility of how that journey could easily end for any of them. Our destination is Shantabak village in Modogashe, Lagdera, the worst hit constituency in Garissa County.
Mbuzi tulikuwa na 950 na leo tuko na 500, hata zingine zinakuva bado. Vile unaona sasa zinakuva. Ng'ombe pia tulikuwa na 76 na leo ile iko uhai ni 44.
It's now become a daily routine for Ismail to remove dead animals from his homestead. On the day we met him at around 3 p.m, 8 goats had already died. Those still alive are barely surviving. Even breathing appears to be a heavy task.
Hivyo tunaamsha siku 3-4 ukipatia chakula inaweza kuva, inaweza kuwa uhai bado ili ipate kidogo. Tukikalisha kidogo, apate maji kidogo, chakula kidogo, weka chumvi kidogo, sukari kidogo, mafuta pia ni lazima uweke. Kwa ili vile wengine wanakataa. Ukishinda kuweka hiyo chumvi ama sukari, iko wengine wanakataa.
Ismail says he can only afford to feed his livestock between 4 to 5 kilograms of maize a day, rationing whatever is available. A situation that has forced him to use such masks on his cows.
Ni kuchunga naye hiyo wasigule makaratasi. Sasa hivi ukileta tu hapa, hii mkebe hii, hawezi acha. Paka mimi naona anafanya hivi, zinaingia kwa ndani. Hawajui sasa wanakula nini. Ni vile wanasikia njaa ndani ndio inasumbua.
A few steps away from Ismail's homestead is that of Shukri Hassan. This homestead once boasted of 230 cows, but now only 4 remain, a loss that has since driven this 43-year-old man into complete silence. According to his family, their son's world was shattered by this death. He only responds through actions when called by name. The 43-year-old man leaves the homestead without any notice, maybe because he feels that we did not bring the kind of relief his remaining livestock needed. Life here is a game of chance. The scorching heat and biting drought is unforgiving to even desert animals. The little water available is shared by every living thing. The air within this area of Shantabak, Modogashe, has a uniquely unpleasant scent of death. What used to be a grazing field for majority of the livestock here has now turned to be a dumping ground for their remains.
Kila siku mkufa kwa sababu ya njaa. Mwaka uliopita tunadunga hapa ng'ombe 27,000, sasa amebaki 1,500.
According to the National Drought Management Authority, at least 168,000 people in Garissa County are facing starvation. The nutritional status of the children under 5 is worsening owing to poor milk consumption, poor dietary diversity, and an upsurge in the number of child-related illness.
So we have been having partners who have been very supportive. especially they have been giving food to the community, especially in the areas that have been affected so much. They are giving cash stipend, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, ranging from 4,700 per month to up to 6,000, 7,000 shillings.
And like a double-edged sword, the drought has also tortured to death the wildlife in the region.
3 months down the line, we have lost so far 79 giraffes in Borana Conservancy. I think the total was 428. Ostrich, we have lost 15, Garinook 6. It is really hurting when you see the wildlife is losing and you can't do anything.
Most of the wildlife, he says, have died along the road near the community's homesteads, where they had wandered to looking for water.
In the parks we could feed wildlife, but in such a place it's very hard for us to even think of feeding them because we don't even know where they are, because it's a conservancy. The truth is, this time round, it's not good for wildlife.
This land may look ploughed, but it is the work of these antelopes as they try to dig deep in search of whatever is available within these roots. Garissa County is home to unique species like the reticulated giraffe and Hirola antelopes.
If the species that are affected are either endangered or critically endangered species, like for instance the reticulated giraffe that we have in northeastern Kenya, or even species like Hirola antelope, where globally we have only 500 of Hirola antelopes left, then we can actually have these species driven to extinction.
Drought, like many other scenarios like floods or wildfires, are as a result of climate change, a situation caused by the emission of greenhouse gases that arise from burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, smog and air pollution, especially through coal industries, among others. The gases absorb solar energy and keep heat close to Earth's surface rather than letting it escape into space. That trapping of heat is known as the greenhouse effect. Kenya contributes only 0.1% to climate change compared to the developed countries, but it suffers greatly from the resulting impact.
Thank you, Rex.
The recently concluded United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP26, seeing it critical that the world needs to reach net zero emissions by 2050. And to be on that track to reach that goal, global emissions should be halved by 2030.
Countries have committed the same commitments in 2015 during, when they signed the Paris Agreement. And 5 years down the line, this has not been achieved. Developing countries, for instance, have promised to cut down their greenhouse gases, and they have even gone ahead to promise that they will be able to support developing countries which are affected by climate change by, for instance, giving them climate finance and also supporting their climate adaptation mechanisms. Whether that is going to be achieved, a few years down the line is what will remain to be seen.
While promises made at the COP26 still look like a pipe dream, every passing hour for those living in the arid and semi-arid parts of Kenya is like death prolonged.
We have also witnessed a human-wildlife conflict, parts of Ijara, where we have had one person being killed by a buffalo at the watering point.
Hata watoto wengine hawaendi shule kwa vile nimehitaji wa kuchunga. Mali jana mbuzi hiyo zilikuwa zinafuatana pamoja wakati walikuwa na nguvu. Lakini leo hawezi fuatana. Sasa hii huyu alishe achunge, huyu mwingine achunge. Tunapeleka kando kando.
Sijui wakati binadamu amekufa ndio anakuja, lakini sasa hakuna kitu moto anakuja. Bahati mzuri binadamu bado kufa kwa njaa.
In the meantime, however,
so the only thing left is tracking, water tracking. As you have seen, we only have communal places where to give water. We have no places for wildlife. And even if we think of giving wildlife water, the livestock will still go there.
As the sun retires, the wild come out in search of what is left at the water troughs, seeking hydration to take them through another day. But what is certain at this time is that hunger, thirst, death is the very unfortunate reality of the arid and semi-arid Kenya. Raquel Muigai, Citizen TV.